Trent, I guess it's been the same story the last couple of games with you kind of turning the game on late. I mean, what kind of in this game, what kind of gave you the confidence to kind of take that game over after missing your first couple of shots and kind of getting back into it?
I talked about it earlier. I think it really comes from just being a fifth year, having that experience, and just like having Ayo last year. Seeing him play with just such confidence. With the ball in his hand, late game, making plays down the stretch, whether he scores or passes. It goes to show, like the confidence. He always gave me that confidence to make the right play, and I try to be aggressive and make the right read every time, and just be a fifth year. So down the stretch, I think it's based off experience.
Yeah, and then I guess then with Ayo last year, I mean, how much do you talk to him, and how much does he kind of teach you or kind of impact your game?
Can you repeat that?
I know Ayo was there last year. I mean, how much did he kind of impact your game now, and do you still kind of talk to him?
We talk occasionally, but I'd say he impacted me just like I said, the confidence. He plays with such, confidence whenever, the game is tight. It doesn't matter. He's going to go and make the right read, right play, and he was always confident down the stretch of, closing out games.
Trent, you and Juwan looked like you talked for maybe 15 or 20 seconds before you checked out that final time. What was that conversation between you guys?
Oh, I was just telling him why he had his guards picking me up full the whole game. It kind of made me work tonight. They did a really good job, making it tough for me in the first half. And like I said, it was really just, me telling him, back his guys off.
Trent, along those lines, it felt like the defense they were playing was kind of similar to what you guys did the first couple of years with Brad, really pressuring to keep the ball from getting to Kofi. How did you guys counter that, or what do you need to do if teams do that to you in the future?
It hit me by shock. We kind of planned on, having, what's his name? Yeah, Hunter. We kind of planned on him on the way he would guard and ball screens, but with Diabate coming in, they did a really good job hedging me. And it kind of, had me, back on my heels a little bit in the first half. It took me a while to, kind of adjust. But, I think, second half, me and Kofi talked about it. He did a really good job screening and re-screening, just coming off his, off the hard hedge and just driving it back, up there, up the gap. So, like I said, we kind of adjusted in the second half and did a better job with that.
Trent, I know you said before the game that you don't like feeding into like the narratives of this, but you did kind of acknowledge the history of this game. Did it feel good to go on that 7-0 run, or what did it feel like emotion-wise to go on that 7-0 run like you did?
It feels great. I've been, doing those a lot lately, and it kind of, like I said, it kind of goes off the confidence. I think my teammates, my coaches, coaching staff, they do an unbelievable job, talking to me, giving me confidence, even when I'm not hitting shots, and I kind of just tend to be aggressive. And like I said, being a fifth year, I kind of have feel for the game. So late game, just making the right read, whether that's, hitting my open teammate or just, making the right read to the basket. So just being able to have those moments where I can just go on the scoring burst, heaters, I guess, it feels good, and I love, having Orange Crush, spark it up and loud in there.
Hey, Kofi. Coach Howard was in here, and he was giving major props to you on how you've gotten better and how you improved your game. How do you feel about those comments, especially coming from Juwan?
I mean, Juwan was an exceptional big man back in his days. Obviously he was a really good player. To hear those compliments from him, it's big time. I'm going to keep working on my game. These guys elevate me a lot with their ability to shoot. Coach has been on me really hard. I'm coming back with just my development. So it's always great hearing a really good player, a really good coach compliment you on your work.
Sure.
As for both of you, Michigan was making maybe a lot of the energy plays, the hustle plays in the first half. It really made me for the whole game. Did you feel like maybe you were able to match their energy better after halftime?
For sure. I think that was the whole first half. They came out with way more energy. They punched us in the mouth a bunch of times, and we didn't respond. They had guys diving on the ground, offensive rebounds. And, second half, we had to come out with a little more energy and effort. I think that was the whole, key to the game, offensive rebound. We knew they were going to crash 5 guys. and that's something we obviously got to get better at. But I'm glad, this team responded in the second half. We threw more punches in the second half and responded well. We got some huge shoot stops. We got out in transition. We just had fun. Everyone smiled. Everyone played together, and we just had fun.
Trent, what's the process been like of having the ball in your hands more, and has that unlocked in your game similar to earlier in your career and now doing it this year?
It's a huge thing right now. It's confidence. I'm very comfortable where I'm at. Late game. Like I said, with the experience, being a fifth year, knowing, time and time again, me and Kofi are going to be in a high ball screen, just working on that every day. You kind of get comfortable, with the different reads I have, having shooters, behind the three-point line, knowing if, they want a hard hedge, we can throw it back, throw it into Kofi. So just making, different reads, making it tough on the defense because, it's kind of, we make it challenging, on other opponents, to cover everyone because we score the ball at a high level. So just, having the ball late game, just having feel. And I'm very confident with the ball in my hands late game.
Joey?
Kofi, we've heard you talk about how much you like some of these big-time post matchups. How did you find out Hunter was not going to play tonight? And I guess what was your immediate reaction when you learned that?
I found out about 12 minutes before the game when Coach came in the locker room and basically showed their starting lineup. My mindset remains the same regardless of who I'm playing. I think that's a good attribute that I have. Coach instills in me that no matter who's on the court, no matter what player it is, I always go out there and try to destroy them and try to dominate them. That's the narrative I'm trying to set. I don't care who it is. So them not having under, I don't think that changed anything in my game. I just went out there, tried to play the game the right way. These guys try to make the right read, make the right play whenever I got the ball in the post, and just play great defense.
Tyler?
This is for Kofi. Curious, you shot free throws pretty well all year, and then you missed 7 straight back to the Nebraska game, and then made 5 straight to close out this game. Did you make a technical adjustment or something you just kind of did mentally to fix that?
I think it was a technical adjustment. I think my brother watches the game a lot, and after I missed a 2 today, he looked at me, he said, my follow-through was towards the right. He said I should straighten my follow-through up, and I think that was just it, getting back that mental state, like where I'm thinking, like, normally when I shoot a free throw, I think a lot about it. I'm like, okay, make sure my follow-through is right. I always tell myself what I need to do in order to make the shot, So, like, him just correcting that, me going back in there and just concentrating a little bit more and just keeping my follow-through.
It's for Kofi and Trent. 6-0, Purdue coming to town, the highest ranked team in the Big Ten right now. What's this game mean for you guys coming up?
I would say same as everyone. It's going to be a high-level game. This was the Big Ten is all about. We're going to get everyone's best shot. Nebraska gave us our best shot. Michigan threw us punches. We're going to get Purdue the next. So we don't kind of look at it as records or, rankings or anything. We know, teams are coming in here with a target on us, and they're going to want to beat Illinois. So we just got to continue to stay focused and take every day, every practice seriously, and continue to work on things that we're struggling at, and just continue to build the confidence for everyone else, and just continue to get better on both sides of the floor.
I think that's why we're 6-0. I think we have guys on the team who sacrifice a lot and who prioritize winning. And these guys come in every day, and we try to bring the same mindset, the same energy, no matter who we play against. Even the guys that don't play, they come in, they bring it every day to get us better. And, when we get on the court, it's a brotherhood. We try to dominate everybody. We come with the same mindset, the same attitude. So that's why we're winning, man. And we're going to continue doing that.
Right here, Andy. We have time for a couple more.
Trent, I know you've talked about that ball screen action a lot. It seems like you're able to get downhill pretty well there. What about that kind of action allows you to kind of have success?
Kofi, with his huge body, him screening, every time he set a screen, that's just how open it is for me. It's opening up for him. Big guy is always helping on me, so I can dump it off to him every time. So just, having that feel, we have that connection. Like I would say, late game where if he sees something, I'll look for it. And if I see something, I'll tell him. So just having that connection, us talking, being able to, be coachable, to each other to get each other better. So we have that good connection, that good bond where, we know each other's strengths and know where to put the ball at and, where we need to get to each other's spots.
Okay, final question.
Kofi, did you think Trent was going to throw that one down when he came running down the lane?
I was about to dunk it.
I saw when I saw him elevate. Like, me and Trent talk a lot, you know, and like even in some plays, when you're in the play, it's hard to really realize what you could have done. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you realize it after the fact. And me and Trent talk a lot about like just him driving the ball sometimes and like him having that ability to like dunking on somebody. And I always tell him, let's try it one time, right? When I saw him go up like today, like I stopped. I think I stopped in the middle of the court coming down. I was just like in awe, man. I was watching him going up there. Like when he got fouled, I was so upset because that was his opportunity, you know, to like basically prove me right. And I was just so excited for him, man. Like he's an incredible athlete, and people don't realize it, man.
That's the last opportunity, so I won't be doing that again. That was my first and last. No more.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Rock fight, whatever you want to call it. It was all that. One of the really hard challenges is finding out right before the game that the other team's key figures not going to play, and you put a lot of time into scout. You put a lot of time into preparation, guarding actions, thinking how they're going to play based on what they do around that individual. And all of a sudden, it all goes out the window. And I give Juwan a ton of credit. I give their players a ton of credit. They played harder than we did tonight, which doesn't have me very excited, but and doesn't happen very often. But that's a challenge. And it was very different. And if you'll remember back a year ago when Ayala was out for Maryland, we kind of had the same hiccup. We persevered through this, but we talked about pregame, and for 2 days, rebounding, and transition D. And the one thing that we did a very good job of tonight was the three-point line. And you hold a team down like we did defensively to 1-3, 5 assists, and I'll take that. That means our defensive philosophy is working. But I give Michigan a lot of credit. I give their guys a lot of credit. I give our players a lot of credit because we fought through really kind of a lackadaisical effort. And, I thought Kofi was huge at the start of the second half, as was Jake Grandison. Big three, big offensive rebound. And then, to be honest, I didn't call a very good game the first half. We got to let Trent go. We got to put Trent in ball screens. They've played a lot of deep coverages with Hunter. They got out and were very, very aggressive tonight with Trent. But again, we'll take the win, 6-0, and it was a night that wasn't pretty. It was two teams that played hard in kind of an ugly game, but I'm glad we had Kofi and Trent and the guys in white tonight.
Okay, questions? Well, here's Scott.
I mean, you maybe had more of the not so pretty games in the Big Ten. Is that just going to maybe be what this conference season is? And I guess since you're winning them, is that a good sign?
You watched any of the games on TV? I watched very little, but when I start watching film, and there's some, I just happened last night because there wasn't anything else on to watch a little bit of Iowa, Indiana, and every game's a rock fight. This league is good. It's got great coaches. They're going to take actions away. They're going to scheme you. But yeah, and we found a way to persevere tonight.
Rob?
Maybe unusual to see Coleman get more tick than DeMonte. Could you talk about the matchup problems tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just kind of an unusual night for DeMonte, and kind of just didn't have it, and for whatever the reason, and was kind of out of flow, and it was no different than ending the game the other night with Plummer and Kofi on the bench. Just kind of Coleman was doing some good things. His length was bothering people, and so we went that way.
Brett, it seems teams are really pressuring your guards. Felt like your defense a couple years ago tonight, given their personnel. But How has your team reacted to that? Just it seems like teams are focused more on shutting down your guards and pressuring your guards.
Yeah, I mean, and Trent's done what he's done, and I think that's where we've got to continue to grow. And I think that's one of the things that if you do that, it kind of opens up Kofi. Kofi got loose in the first part of the half, and then you start forcing double teams. We turned down. Fonz turned down 4 or 5 threes, and we got to get him shooting it and doing that again instead of driving it. But our ball screen stuff was great tonight, and I didn't go to it early enough. And Trent made so many right decisions, 7 assists, and that's on me.
Alec?
Coach, you guys shot it really well in the month of December, and now that the calendar's kind of flipped coming out of COVID, you haven't really shot it as well. I know that's one of the concerns you had coming out of the COVID pause that you have. How do you get back to shooting it really, really well like you were before?
The opponents have a little to do with that too. The scouting is really good. Teams have, as I've said it 3 or 4 times now, I mean, teams have changed how they've played some of their own schemes. I mean, we saw a different scheme tonight than Michigan's played, and obviously without Hunter, what they do is a little bit different. So, we saw Minnesota, we saw Nebraska take away threes. That's okay. That's okay. As long as the most important stat is that left-hand column gets slashes put in it, I'm okay.
Tyler?
Yeah, Coach, you talked about your ball screen action. It seemed tonight, at least initially, that a lot of those ball screens were happening pretty far out in the floor with Kofi, and I wasn't sure if that was by design or was that kind of more Michigan really forcing those actions higher up on them?
No, advantage us. If you want to go pick up Trent Frazier at the half-court line and pick him up full court, and we're gonna screen you as high up as we can and let Trent get downhill and play in space. You saw what he did in space. He was able to what we call swivel back. He created great opportunities. Trent's become a really, really good layup maker. You want to pick us up at the half-court line, we'll screen you there all night long.
Here to the right.
Coach, I cover Michigan. If you wouldn't mind speaking on a couple of players that
Sure.
Played career-high minutes for them in Michigan's uniform. Jace Howard, 25, and Jaron Fald, 44, I think, off the
Yep.
bench.
I thought Jace, and the one thing that impresses me with him is how hard he plays. I mean, he's a kid that seemed to get every loose ball. He's battling guys that, in Kofi in particular, that are much bigger than him, and then Falls is a guy that competes. He plays hard. He's a guy that he does not hurt them. And, he may not be the Hunter guy in terms of running offense through him, and he gives them a different piece. But I thought both those guys were terrific, and I love Jace's effort. I thought he played hard. I thought he impacted the game. He gave us a different look because of his ability to guard ball screens. It was advantage them. They did a great job.
Right here to the right.
Oh, I know you talked about Trent's decision making earlier. How much is having a 5th-year kind of experienced guy who can take games over like him just make you more comfortable?
Yeah, that's what understanding is. We all know he's talented, but having the middle component that comes with that, the confidence. Glad he's wearing our uniform.
Brad, you talked about the Maryland game and having to kind of adjust without Ayala. What did that teach you about how to do that in the course of a game again? And how do you guys just go about doing that kind of quickly as the game's going on?
Well, and today I addressed it. I addressed the Maryland situation when he was out, and we were really flat, and I thought just emotionally just kind of okay, well, we got this, and we didn't have that, and. I thought that addressing it tonight, in the locker room before the game, and then all of a sudden, you're just okay. Terrence Williams in a starting role and a little bit different, and switching matchups and doing some different things. We felt like that Diabate would go at Kofi early. He did, but it's a different matchup. He's been preparing for Hunter, and now all of a sudden. Not to say we didn't have him prepared for that matchup, but it was different. And so, yeah, it's got some challenges both mentally as much as emotionally.
Michigan did a lot of things from a hustle play standpoint that you want your team to do. Just what did it take to maybe at least try and match that a little better later in the game?
Yeah, we can't let not making a shot or not executing or a turnover affect that part of it. I'm disappointed, and again, we've had quick turns and this and that. And we probably haven't spent enough time on diving on loose balls and doing those things in practice. But tonight they just beat us to the ball. They were just quicker to it. They were more energetic. They were more dialed in, and hats off to them.
Derek? Last year was mostly Io and Andre with the ball in their hands. Going into this year, same thing with Andre. Thought that he would be orchestrating the offense. How have you seen Trent take that over and succeed as much as he has here recently?
Yeah, he's just he's so smart and so cerebral. He doesn't try. Trent very seldom tries to do anything he can't do, and he understands offensively. And if I call out a play, Trent's going to do everything he can to run it. He's that guy. He's not going to break off a whole bunch of stuff and go do that. And there's just an extremely high comfort knowing that he's going to execute. And now we know he's got the ability to stop and shoot it. We know he's making the right reads. He's now seen them all. That was such a big time play, the pass to Jake in the corner in front of our bench, and he's playing as well as any guard in this league.
Brittany.
Hey, Coach, heading into the game, you talked about how you wanted the crowd to come in and have a little fire. What did you think about the crowd today?
It was fine. It was good. I mean, it was kind of it was a hard game to get excited about from our side of things. I thought that the first half was just we didn't give them much, even though we were winning. But they're terrific. And again, we've got. We're so blessed, and I mean we're blessed because our fans are the best. They're passionate, and it was when we asked them to get up and get going, they did.
Coach, you've talked a lot this year about finding ways to win games when you don't shoot the ball very well. You haven't done that the last 4 games, but you've still gone 4-0 here. How do you combat the idea of not shooting it well but still finding a win, and also trying to shoot it well? Like, how do you combat those two things at the same time, if that makes sense?
Hopefully defense travels. Defense and again, if I have, we shot 47% tonight. It wasn't like we were horrible on the offensive end. It wasn't rhythmic and as fast paced and as all that. But I think the one thing that we talk about daily is effort travels, defense travels, and rebounding travels. And you have to do those things to win. And when the ball doesn't go in, and you don't think there's going to be NCAA tournament games when the ball doesn't go in because the other team really guards you and crawls up your shorts, and you got to figure it out. And that's why I push. That's why I demand. That's everything I ask for is that effort. So I know when we're in that situation, we can find a way to win like we did tonight.
Brad, I know every Big Ten game counts the same, but Monday you got a top 10 team coming into town, another great crowd, national television. How do you feel your team is ready for this moment and a great opponent like Purdue? Yeah,
Purdue's one of the best teams in the country, and they've been, I don't know, and have they been out of the top 3 all year? I don't know. But they're extremely well coached. They're an extremely, talented team. They've obviously got, everybody talks about the size, and rightfully so. They've obviously got one of the outstanding guards in America. And, but it seems like every night, we're facing a pro. You look on all the draft stuff, and you got, Houston and Diabate as 2, draft picks tonight. And we all know Hunter's an All-American. So, it's just one of those nights where you got to lace them up again, and we're going to go. It's really talented teams, and they run a ton of actions. And Sasha's been there for as long as Trent has, and they're veterans. And it'll be a team that plays hardest to win.
Gavin,
Brad, Trent is about 34 points from breaking into the program's top 10 all-time scoring. Seems like he'll probably do that, but what has he meant to this program over the last, time he's been here?
Yeah, he's everything. He's the fixture. He and DeMonte are the two pieces that our culture they stand for everything that I want to be about. And guys who show up every day and do their job, they don't ask questions. They find ways to win. They've become winners when they weren't winning early, and they figured that out, and that's really hard. It's really easy to go through life being a loser and just accepting that because becoming a winner takes hard damn work, and those guys have put in that work and fought through all the adversity and fought through all the naysayers and fought through changing roles and different situations. Those are my guys, man. I got their back. I know they got mine, and those are the guys that you go to war with.
But it just seems like when Trent goes on those runs, he's got this ability to almost singularly control the emotion in this building. Why do you think that is?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Why specifically for him do you think he's able to do that?
No, I think Trent's energetic. I think he's fun. I think he's, he starts getting it going. He's, Trent's defense doesn't change because he makes a couple shots, but I think people see it as changing, and so the energy on the defensive side gets higher, and Trent's just that guy, man. He is a fun, energetic dude, and it just transcends through the State Farm Center.
Rob,
Do you remember the last time you held an opponent to a single three-pointer, and are you disappointed that you gave up that single three-pointer?
I don't on either. I don't remember it. When did we give it up? First half? Anybody know? Second?
First half, wasn't it?
I thought it was first. I thought we were 1 for 7.
Off a loose ball in the first half.
Damn, you asked me the question and you don't know the answer. No, it was a goal coming in. We wanted to hold them to 4 or under, and I thought the way as fast as they play in transition, they get a lot of them, and Brooks especially. But again, Trent was phenomenal on Brooks. So, another night where Trent does his job. But I thought we did a good job on Houston. We made his touches pretty difficult, and I'll take that every night.
anything else? Scott, last question right here, right in the middle.
Trent said his dunk attempt was both his first and his last. Would you like to see him try again?
I want him to make it. Trent's so freakishly athletic, but here's where he struggles. He doesn't have huge hands, and so sometimes taking that thing up there, he jumps high as anybody on our team. So watching him dunk, we've seen it, but I just want him to make 2 points. I want him to land safely and not get hurt trying to do it, and he can say he was trying to dunk it, and I'll call BS on that because I think it's his feel-good moment, so I don't think he was trying.
All right.
Thanks. See ya.
Thank you, Coach.